Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be going over the new shield mechanics that we received in the 1.5.6 patch. So let me just go right over here. This patch right over here, we received it on Christmas, and when you go over the shield changes, you see that they have linked a forum post, and that's exactly what we're going to go over. It's right over here. We're going to try to understand it, I'm going to try my best to explain it, and we're going to go from there. So let's read this first, and like always, I'm going to have both things linked down below if you guys want to go check it out for yourself. Alrighty, so shield mechanic changes. So they increase the block cone for opposite direction attacks. Weapon blocks to opposite direction of an attack will make more sense in regards to the weapon's position and be ever so slightly easier. Made it slightly easier to hit around shields when they are in the wrong direction and the user is rotated away. Before, you would be stopped by thin air too often trying to hit more shields. So what this pretty much means is the hitboxes for shields were fixed in a good way, where obviously if an enemy literally has their back turned to you, but has a shield up, before it would still block it, because he has a shield up regardless of his body showing or not. But now it should, actually hit if the shield is not, actually facing the weapon that is attacking it, which I think is great. By the way, I'm still kind of congested, still kind of sick. I don't know. It's cold out here. It is what it is. But let's get to it. So, hello everyone. By the way, this was made in November, but obviously this was included, but just, they have been thinking about this for a long time. So, hello everyone. I made some improvements to the blocking cones, which is what these issues brought forward here are about. It will be in the beta in the next 1 to 2 patches and make its way to live. There you go. But I want to make clear that we don't view what happened in these videos as bugs. It's actually design. This might feel weird and counterintuitive, but let me explain. What video is this? Okay, it's just showing how it's inconsistent. Like, this would still block even if the weapon attacked over here. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Okay. Okay, so you start out, what are blocking cones? So blocking cones define an area around your character in which incoming attacks will be blocked. Okay. Each blocking direction has its individual blocking cone, meaning weapons blocking to the left will have a different cone than shields or hand shields. Okay. Additionally, for weapon blocking, the attack direction also influences the size and direction of the blocking cone, which stays the same for the shield and hand shield blocking. Yeah, way harder to block with a weapon. I don't know. For me, I can't do it. I really can't. All right. So let's try to figure this out together. Attack direction right. So from the defender's point of view, the left block is the correct one. So if the enemy's attacking from the right, the left block is the one to do. Okay. So if it's red, it's the right block. If it's blue, it's not. Interesting. Notice how the sphere turns blue on the incorrect block, which means that it will hit the player. Okay, so okay. Let's try to figure this out. Now let's rotate the character. Now notice how, because the defender had rotated into the attack direction, the attack can be blocked even with an incorrect block. Red sphere on the attacker. Okay, so let's try to figure this out. Like, I'm trying to, get to it as well. So if the attacker attacks from the right, okay, the left block is the correct one. The right block is not the correct one. But if you move, if you rotate a little bit, it will then become the correct one, even if it's the wrong block, because of like how the weapons are positioned, how the weapons and the shield are positioned. Okay. And even though the block is okay, now it's showing the opposite of where the character is standing. The character has the correct block up, but is standing in the wrong position. Therefore, blue means it won't go through. Okay, it will still be blocked. Okay, so you have to be in the right position. I mean, you have to have obviously the block up in the right position, but also how your character is facing. Makes sense, right? So that is for weapons. Correct versus incorrect weapon block cone. So if you guys didn't know exactly how to block, I think this is a good little good little mini tutorial to show you exactly like how the block system works completely. It takes a little bit to figure out, but looks pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Now, shield block. Shield block into the middle. Notice how the cone is really narrow compared to the weapon blocks, but covers the whole body. There it is. Shield block into the side. It's not covering as much of the wrong side of the body as the middle block, but still way more than a wrong weapon block. So it'll be easier to hit around the wrong side, but a lot harder to hit around the correct side of the shield. Yeah, shields are overpowered. Come on now. Okay. Okay, so see, with the weapon, obviously if you have the correct block, huge blocking cone right over here. But if you have the incorrect, it turns into a very small cone and it's facing a whole different direction, so it's easier to hit, right? But with the shield, even if you don't do it the right way, you're still blocking a huge portion of your body, except like maybe like this little part. Okay. Alright, so let me close this. Why don't we use the actual mess of shields and weapons for blocking? Okay. By nature in Mount Blade, the blocking codes need to be bigger than the actual mesh, shield, and sword, since we can't expect 100% correct 3D input by the players for every incoming attack. Being 100% accurate would mean that the players somehow need to be able to not only block in the correct direction, but also in the right angle with the weapon in the correct arm position. Yeah, so obviously, if they were to do like 100% contact, the player would somehow be able to like control exactly the position. If that kind of makes sense. You can't just do up, down, middle, left, right. It would have to like be kind of dynamic to where you could literally just like, how can I say this? Like, you know, like as you move your mouse like this, that's the same way the shield will move. Like it would move like the same way. It wouldn't just have like these stiff positions that it could go into. It would have to like be like this dynamic forming thing. And the weapons would also have to be that way, which they can't really do. So if they were to do this 100% kind of like accurate method with the current setup, there would be a lot of blocks that just would not happen. It would be so much easier and shields would be pretty bad. Which are things only some VR games really make the player do. Yeah, exactly. Like in VR games, you could kind of, you know what I mean? It's more like exactly how you move is how the character moves, which is a lot different than, you know, the positions we have here in this game, which makes sense. We also then realize someone holding a shield would have certain radius around them where the shield is, where that someone could quickly and intuitively react and block incoming attacks. Putting that input into the responsibility of the player would add a crazy new layer to our combat gameplay and complicate it massively. True. I think this wiggle room is a fair thing to put into the hands of the game/character and not the players. Was this gameplay? Catering the gameplay better, but losing out on the realism aspect in the scenarios brought up in this thread. I think it's personally fine. I think having like the different directions, a lot of games do that. Even I forgot exactly the name of the games where it's like the medieval combat games. There's a couple out now, right? But yeah, I think like the directional block is pretty good in my opinion. I think it does exactly what it's supposed to do. But I understand some people might want this, but this would be very, very hard to do. Again, it's kind of like a VR feature, really. But I'm pretty sure other games have done it. I don't know. I think this wiggle room is a fair thing to put into the... Okay, no, hold on. Wrong sentence. Also, since we have different sizes of shields and weapons, we would need a custom block cone for every one of them, making it so you would have to basically relearn blocking with every new weapon you pick up. It would totally shake up the game balance as well, and in the end, it would actually feel less consistent. It would be a whole new game. Look, it would be a whole new game, and like at that point, so much effort and work would go into those shields. Man, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Interesting. I don't know. I would like to try it, but I get why they did the cones. I kind of understand. The combat system is complicated enough. Blocking with shields already is harder than in Warband since you have directional blocking. Yep. Which is... Hold on. Since we have directional blocking with it, as well now to a degree, and there's no balanced reason to punish shield users anymore. Exactly, it would make shields very, very hard to use. A lot of people wouldn't even use shields, and I think the directional blocking is already a good step in the right direction. And past that, it's like you could do it, but it's not really necessary in my opinion. What will change with the coming updates? I reduced the cone size for the inner side of shields. This reduces the blocking cone you have with your shield. When it's in the wrong direction, you are rotated away, from the attack. Okay. I made it so the wrong weapon blocks have a slightly larger cone to the front, since usually the weapons are angled slightly forward as well, so it will fit the in-game representation better. Okay, cool. So shields, obviously, you're going to have to put some more effort into it, because if you do use a shield, because now the cone, the blocking cone, which blocks the attacks, is a little bit smaller, which, I think it should be, so people can actually attack around your shield if you really aren't paying attention. And in terms of the weapon block being just a little bit bigger, again, good changes. I think both these are very good changes. They're not too dramatic. They're not too crazy, but they get the job done. Cool. Both these changes are not. Oh, look at that. Both these changes are not dramatic. Don't expect to feel a difference right away, but especially in the first one, should reduce the scenarios that came up in this thread and make them less dramatic. But they will still happen to a degree. There you go. Little changes. We're getting there. Okay. Then a player asks, can there not be two different hitboxes, one for the melee weapon and one for the arrows? There's a different hitbox for shields blocking missiles. That hitbox has nothing to do with the blocking ones, but it comes from the actual shield size. Okay, increasing it a bit further, giving it also a little wiggle room, which I explained above. Okay, so when it comes to missiles versus shields, the bigger shields are obviously the better ones because they have the bigger cone. Okay, cool. And that will do it. I don't want to keep this video too long, but that's how the new shields work. So in summary, the shield blocking cone has been reduced a little bit, so it's easier to attack around it. And the weapon blocking cone has just a little bit of an increase to make it a little bit easier in a way, right? And again, both of these will be linked down below. Here's some little information exactly how the blocking process works with weapons and with shields. If you really wanted to go back and, I guess study it, just look it over a little bit if you forget it and stuff like that. Both will be linked down below, the patch notes and this right over here. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hope this was informative. Ask me any questions, any concerns, and like always, stay safe.